God's real in the now.
Yeah.
I was coming to be with Laurie at an event, and my husband was going to come, and we were actually packed, and I woke up that morning and I turned to him, and we had been on the phone with them, and there was no reason in the natural for me. You know what I'm saying? In the natural. And I turned to him. I said, you know, Rich, I think you ought to go see the kids. And he was looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I'm going with you, he said. And I said, I think you ought to go see the kids. And he looked at me again, and I'm not like this because I'm into the plan. I got to go with the plan. And
not spontaneous.
No. And he said, really? And he said, okay. And so he went and got on the airplane. And long story short, while he was on the airplane, circumstances unfolded in my children's life where, unforeseen, it so happened that my son called me, and he was in a moment where he needed his dad.
Oh, wow.
And literally, when I tell you this, impossibly, he broke down in tears, my 40-year-old kid. And he said, Mom, Dad is going to be here?
Wow.
And when my husband got off the airplane, my kid couldn't believe it. And he said, Dad, you're not really here. And my husband had to take video on the phone and say, look, I'm in the airport. And he took the rent car, drove straight to his house, and the kid fell in his arms. Now, why am I telling you that story? Because the Holy Spirit knew that my son just needed his dad. Now, all that was about the fact that God cares for us in our moment when we need. He's our shepherd.
Yes,
And, you know, I think sometimes we forget that God cares about the small things. Now, that was not life and death for my son, but in that moment, it was to him. It was to him. And I'm so grateful that I can count on him, and we can hear the Holy Spirit because we're led of the Spirit. I love the verse, for all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. Romans 8:14. And it's alive in us.
Yes, it is.
The Spirit is alive in us today.
But sometimes we don't want to hear what he's leading.
Cheryl.
Here we go.
Sometimes we have our own plan and our own idea. And I can think back 40 years ago when I first finished my Miss America year. I went to Hollywood. Everything was falling perfectly into place. And I got offered the host of Entertainment Tonight. It was the first year for Entertainment Tonight. And they offered me the host job. And I mean, everything up until then was so easy to say.
I know.
That's kind of a big deal.
Well, and
But now she's on Better Together.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. And the truth is, there were many things that were offered, you know. I don't even have to pray about that. No, no. But this, I'm like, wait a minute. I can be myself. I can still preach on the weekends. This is a great thing, God. So I'm working my shepherd. Father, I know this is the right thing for me. It will help you be glorified. I was working him. And eventually I stopped talking, which I think is the biggest issue with prayer, is we talk too much. We don't listen enough because the shepherd wants to talk to us.
Right.
And I finally stopped talking, and he made one sentence to me that changed my direction, my future, and my life 41 years later. He said, before they become like you, you will become like them. Shepherd.
Yeah.
It looked right. I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
There are times the shepherd will tell you things that you don't want to hear, but he's protecting you.
Yeah,
He's
that's right.
surrounding you. He knows about us what we don't even know. I thought I'd survived a whole Miss America year and I had not sinned. Yeah, I can do this. you know,
Yeah.
but God was like,
But he
no,
knew.
you
But he
can't.
knew.
You
Yeah.
can't because you will be infiltrated with the whole culture and you won't be able to do it at that time, at that moment. 41 years later, I hear that in my head. Thank God he protected me.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking I was big enough witness to change everybody I met. And sometimes people will change you before you change them.
Wow.
And the shepherd will protect you.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.